2020 WNBL season. Hello, I'm Cameron Luke. So much to get into. We've seen 4 cracking games kickstart a condensed season that in the end will end with one team holding the trophy and 2 teams that, interestingly, didn't have the best start to their campaign but have plenty to work on. We'll meet now. The Bendigo Spirit v the Sydney Uni Flames. Joining me today and right across the afternoon, Bianca Duffelmeyer. Hello to you.
Nice to meet you. I've obviously met you before,
Yes.
and I'm really, really happy to be here.
This is going to be an exciting game because this is an opportunity, 2 young teams and probably 2 of the lower-rated teams when it comes to so many people leading into the season. It is an interesting time for both of these teams to work and some of the stuff they didn't do well in the opener and be able to get some confidence by getting a W on the board. Absolutely,
and a lot of those things that didn't work in the first game, you can actually chalk up to nerves. So, they've also got that first game out of the way in such an interesting situation. So I'm sure with less of the pressure for both sides against the sides that were playing like in Boomers and the Flyers, that there's a little less, pedestal they're playing against.
And that's a really good point because they both played 2 of the higher ranked teams. Southside Flyers, as we know, expected to be really good, and they proved it with that 42-point win. And the Melbourne Boomers, of course, a great run last year. A lot of that same team coming back into the year. So while you've got to be able to face and beat everyone if you're going to win the Chemist Warehouse WNBL season, the very fact is that with the age and the makeup of this team, the intensity might be, and of course not opening night as well, opening weekend or opening ground, it's sort of hard to define what we should be calling these things when they're almost playing back-to-back, but it will give both of these teams an opportunity to breathe a little bit more.
Absolutely. They get to, work on those rotations again, not having to look at those, very intimidating matchups of Liz Cambage, Ezzy Magbagor, Tess Madgen. Definitely both sides have those similar type names, but, it's just not as aggressive and as intimidating. So you can get those benches moving a lot more, keep those legs fresh because, this is technically close to the end of round 1, but they turn around and have a game in 2-3 days.
Tessa Lavey, the captain of the Spirit, we had a quick chat to her just before to see how the camp had dealt with losing game 1, but also the positive they could be able to take out of it. But I just want to ask you about her individually because she had a really tough night. She's the leader of this team. She's in the Opal squad. She's played for Australia, and she's the one who's going to have the ball in her hands for so much of the good things to happen. How does she bounce back after a night that no doubt frustrated her?
At the end of the day, it's experience. Tessa Lavey has been in this league for a long time. She's a household name. She's in the Opal squad, has been for a long time. She went to Rio. So she's just going to have to work on that, next play mentality, the next game. Definitely in there for the moment and make sure you're executing and explaining to the young kids that are coming off the bench. But for her, it's, I do my job and then I have to do my job again. So I can't dwell on the past.
It's going to be kind of fun too because Lauren Mansfield played really well, even though it was a loss. She was great on opening night, or at least I keep saying opening night. It was their opening night, second night of the season. She was brilliant. This is a matchup that's going to be fun and will go a long way to deciding which young team's able to get the win.
Correct, and similar to Leilani, both Lauren and Tessa are very quick, arguably some of the quickest guards in this league. So, yet again, we're going to have ourselves a fast-paced game and experience because Tessa Lavey and Lauren Mansfield actually play similar positions in the Opal squad. So, it's kind of a nice little matchup, probably back to the same old training squads. So, yeah, it's going to be a very quick and exciting game.
Carly Ernst was brilliant on Thursday night. Plenty to talk about her as well. As we have a look at the Spirit starting 5, Goulding, Todd Hunter, Froling, Ernst and Lavey. We spoke about Tessa Lavey as well. But yeah, Carly Ernst and Alicia Froling, who had her moments, in particular early on Thursday night. And on that bench, they're young, but they are able to come on, be energetic and keep the intensity up. And that's all Tracy York really wants from some of these girls right now.
Absolutely. That's all you can really ask at this point. They're definitely girls that have some junior Australian experience. So, they're used to the pressure of being that representative team. But nothing really changes when it comes to the expectations of energy, effort, all the things that players can control themselves.
And for the Flames, the same as Thursday night as well. Burton, Scherf, Maley, Schwagmeyer, Belger and Mansfield as well. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. And the best thing about having you here, Bianca, is that you're the one that has to give the tip. So, who wins? Who opens their win-loss, their winning account today?
I'm going to go with Sydney. I'm going to go with Sydney this afternoon. They've just got a little more experience, a little more depth to their bench that have been in the league.
That'll do. Let's get into it. The Spirit and the Flames. And then a day off between both their games as we'll get up and get this underway. Ernst gets that hand hook straight to Goulding, and the Spirit will have first crack at it. Here is Goulding. Oh, great take, straight to the key. Off the left was Todd Hunter, no good. Froling with the offensive rebound, something she did really well on Thursday night. And Tessa Levy, straight what you spoke about, Bianca. She's experienced, she's an opal, and that is what she has to do. Much better start for her tonight. She's
just attacking. You know, there's no dwelling on what happened 2 days ago. She's ripped through, and that's something that the Spirit did really well against the Flyers, and actually got on the glass.
Oh, great cut there. Brilliantly done, Mansfield. Scherf was able to go on the back door. Great pinpoint pass. Levy lost her into the passing lane, and we're all not at a 2. As Levy just tries to drop it off to Goulding, just a little lazy, picked up by Scherf. Now they're going to run. Great. Oh, takes a little bump. And that's something you've got to keep out of their game, though. If you are, of course, the Spirit, and they handled the ball pretty well against pretty good defence on Thursday night, but little lazy passes like that, their ability to be able to stop transition makes it a lot harder.
You know, you're definitely threading the needle there with such a congested key. She does like those little bounce passes, but, you know, in that situation, like you've said, their transition has to be on point, and right there, as you said yourself, just a little lazy, didn't really have anyone communicating, getting back to who's got ball, who's got help.
Swagmeyer Belger, it's the first. It's a nice little roll for the second. Extended pressure off the foul. Shots by the Flames. Now they'll be able to break it. Here's Goulding. Wants to go baseline on Scherf. Tippy toes the end line. In there and just sort of throws it up out of control. And away we go. Burton with her second rebound. They've given it straight back. Goulding drops it off to Frolings. Takes her time. Uses the left. Little deft touch. And again, almost copy and paste what I said about lazy turnovers, except the other jersey this time.
Exactly that. And it's really good to see, again, that the Spirit aren't giving up on the play. Goulding, you know, had a bit of a contested reverse layup, but turned around and got the steal to then drop it off to Froling.
Scherf is going to back down Ernst, but Ernst was up to the task, able to knock it away. Maley does that so well, picks up the junk. She's always in the right place at the right time, does it twice there.
And she's rewarded to go to the free throw line. That's what the Spirit really need to be careful with in this game, is that the Flames have a lot of aggressive rebounders. You know, only Maley was the leading rebounder at her last World Champs, I believe, and she just hasn't dropped off at all with age.
Averaged 16 rebounds a game last year in the NBL 1, which is a remarkable effort at Diamond Valley. And we spoke about her pre-game as well. Great opportunity for her, because Southside Flyers last year stuck behind, you know, a very talented list. Takes the opportunity, goes to play for the Sydney Uni Flames, and now gets that opportunity to start.
Without a doubt, and, you know, use the word stuck there, but that is such an opportunity for the players to learn from that experience, and that's what happens. You know, you got all of that coaching from your players, and you've turned around and put it into action.
Here's his press again. Goulding, little no-look pass. McLean into the game. There's Ernst, top of the key three, no good. They're going to push the other way, are the Flames. Something we've seen early. Mansfield, what a pass.
Nice little no-look.
Inside to Burton, who ran the lanes. Kissed it off the glass with the left. That's something we've seen already be in the last, well, the first 4 games, and again here. They're going to push. This is an up-tempo league as Ernst steps out. This one finds the bottom of the net. That's her first 3 of the night. Gets the lead back to 1. But all teams seem ready to run either a missed shot, even after a made basket.
Without a doubt. You can't lull. The season is so short that you can't dwell on a loss. You know, usually you can say, oh, look, we've lost this, we'll go to the next game, we'll make some adjustments. It's go to the next game as if you won it.
McLean, little crossover, can't finish with the left. Goulding runs down the offensive rebound, something the Spirit did brilliantly on Thursday night against the Flyers. Levy crosses it over and just is able with the right hand, scoop it over the right shoulder. It's down. She's got 4. She started well, as has Lauren Mansfield at the other end with 5. So the battle we were looking forward to seeing hasn't disappointed early. Swagmeyer Belger using that left hand perfectly, couldn't finish it. Scherf had a hand. Levy, great pass. Goulding had to run it down and they'll reset. That was tough. Maley was up to the task. Stepped into the lane to stop McLean receiving it. Couple of early turnovers. Tracy York won't be happy. Deep inside to Scherf. Little fadeaway, little 4-footer, no good. Ernst. And now it's Goulding. Now Levy's going to push one more extra pass. This time they'll finish the little semi-fast break, and it's Froling who lays it in. She's got 4.
There's a great rebound and then just a complete over-the-head pass, and then another kick ahead. Those are the cheapies that you need to convert on, and Spirit have done it really well so far.
Here is Mansfield. She got 5 early. Swegmeyer Belger uses that left hand on the little spin. Gets Froling in the air. Beautifully done. Goes back to the non-preferred right. She's had a great start as well. She's up to 4. Levy right back at it, though, all the way. Takes it to the bucket. Couldn't finish it. Did all the hard work. Now it'll be Maley the other way. Surveys the option, takes it right at Goulding. Tries to get a little contact, does. Just flips it up. Goulding pleads her case. Referee says too bad. I've blown the whistle, and Annalie Maley will go to the foul line for a couple.
With Annalie Maley, once you give her a bit of a sniff, she's going to keep attacking, and right now she's getting the call, so the Spirit just have to make an adjustment, get that extra little step off, give her a bit of space, maybe make a decision on the outside rather than let her get in the key.
The aggression evident, and that's something I think we expected, but it is great to see the aggression, even after the losses to open in their season. It hasn't dented their confidence. They believe that the right way to play is to push the floor, and it's good to see the energy early.
Absolutely, and nor should it. They both played very hard games, a lot of heart, a lot of energy, and you can't fault that. The only thing you have to do is continue to do that for the rest of the season.
Here's Goulding. Inside. Inside to Rintala. She was grabbed. She's in for her first action. I thought she was really good on Thursday night as well. Again, a couple of those little buckets that would have made a difference to the score sheet, but in saying that, the energy didn't drop, and she was a big part of it.
Absolutely.
Here's Ernst coming off 16 points. Just a little hand up. Levy thought about it. Now she steps back. Ernst doesn't think about it. She just lets it fly. It's a little short. Levy runs down the long rebound. Now she's going to be aggressive at Scherf. Gets a little bump. And it will stay with the Spirit, who again, after being able to get 16 offensive rebounds on Thursday night, have been able to again crash the offensive boards early.
I think that's gonna be something that really works for them if they continue that throughout the season. Teams are gonna have to stay and make sure they box out and not let anyone leak out for their offensive term, which in turn will give the Spirit an easier backcourt defense.
Great pass, Levy. Even better finish by Rintala. She's got her first points of the night. And it's back to a 1-point lead. Here's Maley aggressive again. Chef, long way from the basket. Negasoglu, you can't leave her out there. Little oopty pass inside to Scherf, you got a bump. Seaman is hanging in the air for a long time. You kept expecting your defender to be able to get a finger to it. Couldn't. And Scherf will go to the foul line for 2. That's a great pass.
It's one of those things as a point guard that you kind of just throw it up in the middle of the key and hope your big man just goes and gets it.
Substitution for the Spirit coming onto the court, number 23, Denny Skinner.
Goulding takes a seat. Skinner comes in for the Spirit.
And that's also that relationship that you build throughout the preseason and throughout the extended long season. So it's nice to see that Lauren Scherf already has that with her point guard.
Both foul shots are good. 16-13, nearly halfway through the first period here. The Flames and the Spirit, two teams who had tough opening season games. But one will leave this afternoon from Townsville. Well, not leave Townsville, but at least the court in a better mood than they were on Thursday night. Here's McLean. Levy's had a nice start. Inside, Rintala's been good, been focal again. Big focal point, this time with the right. Showing both hands, she's got 4, and already they're looking inside and the confidence seems to be growing.
Look, and Rintala's just got this nice little touch around the hoop right now. Squeeze that lemon if you're a teammates.
As Mansfield, you can't go under the screen. She can shoot, she's got the range. She's got 8, and it's a 4-point lead.
You just cannot go under a Lauren Mansfield or a Carly Ernst or any shooter at that. It's just a little bit disrespectful, and Lauren made them pay.
Bogue, reach in on Ernst. (19-15), high-octane start. Big weekend ahead of us in the Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. Great pass inside Levy, already got 3 assists. Ernst thought about it, goes the other way, little spin, couldn't finish it. Scherf with her second rebound. Bogue inside the shirt, kicks it back outside. Mansfield, almost the exact same spot. This time not off the dribble. It was a catch and shoot, but it's the same result. She's got 11 and the lead is 7.
It's a really good inside-outside play there by the Flames.
Ernst from Levy. That one's for 3. That's bottom of the net. Negasoglu goes flying. Doesn't matter. And this is a fun, entertaining start by both of these young teams. Maley at the other end, same spot. That's no result. Bogue couldn't get a hand to it, or she did, but she couldn't control it. It goes out of court, and the Spirit will retain the ball.
It's really nice to see both teams, you know, like we've mentioned a few times, you know, they took a bit of a hard loss, but they've come out firing with confidence, almost as if they did win those games, and that's how you have to play.
Trolling, bit of a lazy pass by Rintal. Now it's Bogue. Oh, what a pass. Excellent pass. And they run again.
That is just good court awareness, good aggression, you know, jumping that lane. And props to Swagama Belga, who continued to run. You didn't leave your teammate out there to hang.
It's contagious when you run and get easy layups. All of a sudden you find yourself doing it. Levy's had a nice start. That continues. Little crossover step back from 17 foot. And the Opal finds bottom of the net. She's up to 6. 3 or 4 from the field. What a pass from Mansfield to Bogue. Look one way, threw it the other way. Lauren Mansfield's got the ball on a string early doors.
She's a teammate you want to play with. She knows that you're open before you do.
Levy at the other end is Britton. Rintalis had a nice start. Little handoff. Britton for 3. Off the back rim. Bogue with the rebound. Swagmeyer Belga for 3. Got it in rhythm, couldn't hit it. Levy with the long board, she's going to push. Little 3-on-3, waits for the troops, tries to just lob it over the Froling, catches it. And that is a great little semi-transition, and Demi Skinner from about 7 foot banks it in for her first points of the night.
That's just good court awareness from Alicia Froling, just knowing that, hey, you know, the shot's not open for me, but it was open for Demi. And then Lauren Mansfield just comes down and drains another one, and that's going to hurt. She's had 3 threes in the opening quarter, 2 of them completely uncontested. You know, Coach York is not going to be pleased with that, and they're going to have to make an adjustment.
Levy at the other end. She can't use English to kiss it off the glass. Knocked out by Froling. 14 points for Lauren Mansfield. Great start. They lead by 7. And you're right, Tracy York coming into it would have been the scout on Mansfield, don't go under. And it's happened 3 times in the first quarter, and it's ended, all of them coming out of the net.
And that's not a scout that you'd find just on the Spirit. That's a scout that you'll find across the league. So whether you're new or not, that is just something you know as you get to play against these players in the off-season or in the current season. Just shouldn't happen.
Oh, Mansfield knew what she wanted. Might have been knocked out of court. She's trying to find Greaves. Plead the case, they come off the fingernail. Referee's having nothing for it, so...
Oh, as a player, the ball's never off you.
Never.
And you never foul. The cool thing about this condensed season right now is that every team got to take DPs with them. And DPs, you know, they usually get the court time at the height of a beating or the bottom of a loss, and everyone's getting court time in the middle of the season.
It is brilliant, and depth is going to be a huge thing. Froling tries to find Ernst inside. The bump will come from Greaves, and it'll stay with the Spirit. And that's the big thing too, B, because the very fact is that as the year goes on, or as the season goes on, these young girls are going to get opportunities. These young women are going to get opportunities to play that they might not have had for the exact reason you just pointed out. So there'll be times where players stand up and they'll be counted. It can only be better for the game in this country going forward.
Couldn't agree more.
Price into the game as well. 29-22. Laura Mansfield taking a seat. She's got 14 in the first period. She's been brilliant. Negasoglu had 12 on Thursday night. The last, she was brilliant, as was this lady, and she continues to do it. Swagmeyer Belga, she's up to 8, goes baseline and kisses it off the glass with the reverse, and it's a 9-point Flames lead.
That's what makes Swagmeyer Belga such a good player. You know, she brings the energy offensively and defensively. You just feed off that as a player.
Price to Froling. Here's the Levy. Shot clock's at 7. Gonna have to get a bit busy here. Trying to get Bogan a little mismatch. Doesn't get it. Still keeps up the dribble. Has to force it up. Shot clock was nearly out. Rowe with the rebound, and now we'll push. Swagmire Belga must have thought about pulling up for a split second. No one would have blamed her. Now on the right hand, she tried to be aggressive. Bit of a broken play. They still have it. Shot clock at 7. Oh, that is her range. Nagasoglu gets the bottom of the net as well. If you go under any of these Flames guards, they're going to hurt you with the three-pointer. It's happened again. The lead's out to 12.
I just would not be shocked if you go into the Spirit quarter break discussion, and they're really going to have to address the 5 for 7 three-pointers that Sydney have put up today.
Hot start for the Flames. You look at this.
It's her second personal foul.
It's one thing a coach will always tell you: you never foul a jump shooter. You don't ever want to give up 3 free throws on the three-point line. Whew, excuse me.
And as the player will always say, I didn't foul them. I got bailed out by the referee, but in the end, Paige Price has 3 to try and give the Spirit a little bit of momentum here. First 2, nothing but net.
It's a good way to end the quarter. So, you know, 3.8 seconds to go. You really got to make sure that they're toughen up. No fouls, no three-pointers. Just make them run out the clock as best you can.
Makes them all count. Swagmire Belga's going to have to get it up from half court. It doesn't look too bad. In fact, it was a little strong, but it ends what has been a brilliant first quarter for the Sydney Uni Flames, 34-25. They lead by 9. 8 points for Swagmire Belga. She was brilliant. Lauren Mansfield was the star of the show. She had 14. Levy has 6 for the Spirit. How'd you see the first 10 minutes?
I'm impressed with how these teams have bounced back, frankly. They have come out just guns firing. You look at Tessa Levy. She's leading in scoring, but she's also got 6 assists in the first quarter. You know, similar to Laura Mansfield, she's 14 points in the first quarter, also getting her teammates open with 3. Players are just being aggressive and not stopping. You just can't ask for anything more than that in a game of basketball.
In particular, as we keep talking about these young lists, these young lineups in the season in which it is, weird pre-season, you haven't been able to see your teammates as long as you traditionally would. Some uncertainty for a little while that off-season as well when the season was actually going to start. They all come together. Some had to quarantine. You're living, you don't have to be working while you're on the road remotely, or you're still doing school, or whatever it might be. And the very fact is the basketball's at the highest level, and 2 teams who were probably, when it comes to results, were probably the furthest away from getting a win on the opening couple of nights, have come out playing this high-octane, high-energy, high-confidence basketball. It's great to see.
It's great to see. And, you know, again, we've talked about the DPs that are getting these opportunities to play. This is the environment they get to learn in. They are watching high-level basketball, fast-paced. Essentially, everyone is in the same boat saying that we need you to come out every day with energy. You can control that. You can control your effort. And this is what they're putting forward. Just, you can only imagine what it could be doing for the little girls watching this at home. And for the girls that are in the program but that just didn't get to travel, they just get to see this. This is the example they're setting, you know. Show me, don't tell me.
And the very fact is that it's never been more televised, more accessible, more exposure right around the country and the world to be able to see these women do what they are doing at the highest level. It's going to inspire more and more people, and so well it should, over what's going to be a wonderful 6 weeks of the Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. First quarter in the books. Tracy York to the Spirit, just a little tightening up on defense, do you think? Because offensively, I think she'd be fairly happy with what they've been able to do.
You can't fault the Spirit. All the Flames at this stage at their shot selection, it's been quite good. Defensively, just got to shore up and understand your player matchups. You know, you give it 9 times out of 10, you're given the scout for a reason. And as a player, it's your responsibility to know that. And right now, that's where the Spirit have dropped the ball.
61% from the field in that first period for the Flames. 50% for the Spirit. So as you said, you can't fault much. Swagmire Belga right open, couldn't finish it. But they're going to keep it alive on the offensive board again. Shot clock was reset to 14. Swagmire Belga off the screen, right hand, kicks it out. Oh,
that is a great
beautifully assisted. You get 2 feet pretty much into the key. Little kick out. Burton just says, this is easy. I'm 2 of 2 from the field. I've got 4. And the lead is 11. Ernst. I love this green light that she's got.
It's just fun to play that way. You get the ball, you shoot it, and it also makes it hard to defend because Carly's also such a great passer that you've got to respect all aspects of her game.
Mansfield, 14 points in the first quarter. She can use the hot hand. She doesn't this time. She just dumps it inside to the nice little roll from Burton. 4 straight points from that Burton. 4 straight for the Flames, and Tracy York wants to talk all about it just over a minute into this second period, and that is, well, we talked them up, the Spirit, offensively, defensively, they've been picked apart.
They are. Unfortunately, that's not how you want to open a quarter. That really has put the momentum in Sydney's area. However, calling a timeout also allows you to just take a breath. Girls, what did we talk about? Let's regroup, come back out, start again. Like, it happens. It's just how they answer now.
And that will be the key with this crew and this young group, as we keep talking about, with Tracy York, who is great at being able to have a young group and develop them and have them have confidence and learn to grow together. Now, it'll remain to be seen if the season, the way that it is in this particular year, is going to allow her the time to do it. But this is exactly what these timeouts are all for. We might have a listen. I sent one of the cameras in maybe a little bit close on Thursday night, P, and we'll see how it goes. Great media access, though, from all the clubs up in far north Queensland.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, again, as a young player, as like watching, they get to see, you know, how are the players standing, how are they listening, what is the coach saying, how is the coach talking to those players. All those things are learning experiences across the board.
And there's another lazy turnover, Froling straight. And they are, at the moment, the intensity's gone through, defensively gone through the roof. Swegmeyer-Belger wants the screen. Now it's Mansfield's going to work it off. The two Opals face off. Mansfield uses the surf screen. Little step back, left-hander, 16-footer, no good. And now we'll push the other way. Todd Hunter with the rebound. Now it's Levy to Ernst. Lets it fly right in front of the Spirit bench, and that gets them up. Nothing but net.
That is just really good basketball. From your point guard to your postman, your shooter postman. The fact that she has, you know, she's missed a shot, she comes down, shoots it again, no worries.
Shot clock to 10. Here's Swegmeyer-Belger, goes baseline. Now she kicks it back. Scherf tries to respond. The Ernst three and does exactly that. She's got 5, and it's back to 13.
It's good to see Lauren Scherf connecting on a few more shots today.
Levy, top of the key. Guarded by Maley, now the switch. She likes this matchup, this test of Levy. Little hesitation, takes it right at Scherf. Able to use the body, create just a little bit of space. There was enough needed. She's able to continue her nice night as well. She's up to 8 to go with 7 assists.
Yeah, that's just basketball IQ right there. There was a switch from a guard to a post, and the guard arguably is quick. You know, Tessa Levy is quicker than Lauren Scherf and just put it on the rim and got rewarded.
Swegmeyer-Belger kicks it out. Mansfield, there's the extra pass. This time it's Maley just inside the three-point line. Froling runs down the long rebound. Maley uses the tenacity that she has to knock it out of court. It will stay with the Spirit. Always follow your own shot, though, B.
Absolutely, right? And, you know, that's one thing Annalie Maley does really well. You know, as someone who's played the game, and when you're talking to kids, I always tell them, you know, you're your best rebounder. You know when it comes off your hand a little funny. You know if it's going left or right. But, you know, hats off to Sydney right now. They are moving the ball just incredibly. Finding that extra man, shot in the corner for Annalie Maley, who arguably almost got her own rebound for another possession.
Levy and Mansfield continue this wonderful battle. Paul Vast into the game for the first time. That's a bit of a lazy pass. Goulding might have got away with the over and back. Now she gets all the way to the bucket. Takes the little bump and one. Beautifully done. Was able to absorb the contact and go straight up. And that's a beautiful move by Mary Goulding. She'll go and try and get 3 points the old-fashioned way.
Nice little pinch post action happening there. And did exactly what Annalie Maley did the other end. You know, she put her head down, went to the hoop. One thing is, Annalie Maley's got to be careful. She's got 2 fouls. This is when that player maturity comes in. You've got to take that little bit of aggression that you can have when you've got no fouls out of it.
This time a little extended pressure from the Spirit.
It's really good what they did is just to slow the ball down, because Sydney right now have done a really good job just pushing the ball down their throats. So that nice little change-up pressure will give them a little bit of a breather and just slow that momentum down.
Mansfield with the travel. Her first turnover of the night. 8-point Flames lead. They led by 13. Last 5 have all been from the Spirit. His Goulding loses it. It's going to come off a Flame shoe and stay with the Spirit. 11 on the shot clock.
Sub for Sydney coming back onto the court. Number 3, Funyanakasoglu.
And there you go. That's exactly what you were just mentioning as well. Just stalls the momentum. Early fouls. Now mainly has to take a seat, maybe for the rest of the quarter.
I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about fouls like that is it's a great offensive board, way to stay with it. With those fouls, like, she's such an aggressive player that it does change a game just a little bit. And right now, I'd say the momentum is, you know, it's not with either team, so it's up for grabs.
Great pass from Levy to Pulvas. Again, another offensive rebound. Was stripped away from Rintala. Now Mansfield. Scherf top of the key, already made a 3 this period. Negasoglu straight into the body of Goulding. The referee said it was a legal defence, and she's going to go to a foul line for a couple.
Very nice attack, even on a tall player. She's got Lauren Scherf there for the little dump if she needed to, also to clean up, but got rewarded and gets a chance to put 2 on the board.
Which is something we did see her do when she entered the game in the first quarter with that
Correct.
little lob. So
Yes.
now the defenders are in 2 minds as into how to defend it.
And that's what you need to do as a guard. You need to be very versatile.
First one is good.
Because she is known as a knockdown shooter, but she's been on the glass so far tonight. This afternoon, I should say.
5 points for Negasoglu. Leads back to double figures. Here's Ernst. Goulding looks inside, can't get it to Rintala. Now she does. Pulvas top of the key. Here's Levy for 3. That's good. Great ball movement. 11 assists for the Spirit already tonight. In fact, 10 for the Flames as well. So the ability to find the open woman is leading to open shots like that. Negasoglu with the crossover did everything but nail it. Flames girls 2 down. Now they're going to run the other way. Levy kicks it out. Pulvas for 3. Semi-transition. That's just a little short.
That little segment of basketball is exactly what the Spirit need to take advantage of. You know, things haven't been going your way. You knock down a nice 3 and then you have a good defensive set, which unfortunately has been stopped with a nice little bank shot from Swaggermeyer Belga.
And that's the thing, when you do miss those little opportunities, you've got to be ready back on defense because they can kill you in semi-transition. The Flames is Goulding, almost the exact same move as moments ago when she got a 3-point play. This time, didn't make it work, but she'll go to the foul line for 2.
It's exactly the same play, pinch post action, and she's doing a really good job of driving. Swaggermeyer Belga definitely tried to force her off the line, but didn't really quite get there in time. I would assume that particular play will be talked about at halftime.
Goulding's first. A highly entertaining game to kickstart the weekend, the Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. Doubleheader today. The Boomers and the Flyers, both winners in the first of their games. And then tomorrow, the triple header, wherever you might be right around Australia. Do not miss a second of the action. Negasoglu, there's that extra pass again. If you're going to go to a zone, know where the shooters are, and also box out. Scherf didn't make a pay. Trolling with the rebound, and now it's Levy. Rolling, using the momentum. Good block by Scherf. Goes into the hands of Goulding. Now again, she's able to get the contact.
She's just in there in every possession, either on the glass, cleaning up the boards. That is a player you always want to have on your team.
Fouls called on number 40, Carly.
I would like to see Alicia Froling go up just with a little more confidence against Lauren Scherf. She could have got it up if she put a little more effort into it.
First one for Goulding off the rim. She's got 5 points, 3 rebounds, having a nice little patch here in the second quarter.
She's definitely getting herself to the free throw line.
Can't make either of them count. Bogue with her second rebound, and the Flames are going to try and extend on a 7-point lead. Inside, Chef, too deep. Couldn't finish it. And we'll start again. Mansfield kicks it out. Bogue for three, no good. Ernst just takes it out of Froling, her teammate's hand, and now they'll run. Ernst with her second board. Here's ball pass. Great. No, not a great cross-court pass because Froling was heading to the bucket and the ball was heading the other way. And another turnover for the Spirit. That'll be their 8th on the afternoon. That's too many and a half of basketball.
Without a doubt, definitely something that'll be talked about. Right now, Sydney's doing a really good job of finding the open man, whether that be an inside-outside game for a three-pointer. Currently, the past 2 or 3 possessions have just been hitting the postman in the centre of the key. Something the Spirit need to work on is just push Lauren Scherf a little higher out of the key and don't let her just get so deep.
They've been able to get away with a little bit too, where Lauren Scherf, who hasn't shot particularly well from the field, they've probably let him off the hook a little bit. Let's get into the bench here for the Flames.
Let's continue to explore high on balls with Loz and Funda. All right, try to turn corners or not get the three. All right, but 4 minutes, we've got to play this quarter out. All right, defensively, we're jamming Mijovic and Rintala. Everyone else is a switch. Yes, they attach to particularly Mijovic. If we're running back in defensive transition, Levy, Mijovic, and then filter out. All right, we stop those two, we win the game. And somebody contain Goulding for us and stop fouling. Hey, rebound, outlet, run. Let's get back to what we do well. We are. Let's go.
I think we'll continue to see off the high screen for Negasoglu, who's been able to do it off the Scherf screen and either be able to lob it back in, as we've seen a couple of times, or be able to attack the rim herself and get to the foul line, if not the bucket. So a little bit of a two-woman game here, which has continued to work and pay dividends so far for the Flames.
No doubt, and you don't go away from what's working, and that's exactly what Coach Hibbert said. She let's stick with the high pick and roll. If you can't turn the corner and get on the rack, hit the three. As a player, that kind of confidence to just play what's given to you is a great feeling.
Belfast with her first foul of the night. 3:53 to go. Second quarter, Chemist Warehouse 2020 WNBL season. The Flames and the Spirit both looking for their first win for the season. Levy gets a hand on Mansfield, comes off the back of her heel. That'll be a turnover. The 4th for the Flames in the first quarter, but this is a really fun battle that we're seeing right now, and Levy was be able to get the upper hand there. We're on triple-double watch with Tessa Levy, who's got 11, 5, and 7 in the first period, and Mansfield, of course, 14 in the first quarter. Has cooled off a bit since, but these two studs have brought their A game tonight, and it's fun to watch. Here's Ernst, just bullets her way to the bucket. She's going to go to foul line for 2.
It's a great attack from Carly Ernst. And like you said, with Tessa Levy right now, it doesn't look like she's going to stop. She is just constant. She is non-stop. Nice little shake and bake from Carly Ernst. And as a Flames player, Carly, she had her stopped almost, but that little reach in from Kiera Rowe is what the foul was. And as a player, that's not what you want. Stay home.
Ernst makes a pay, makes both. She's got 11 in the lead, which was 13 earlier in this quarter. Is now back to 5. The Spirit have been able to use this energy. Here's Maley back on with 2 fouls. She's going to take it at Ernst. Little pull-up, tries to kiss it off the window. Does what she does so well. Chases down her own ball. Is able to finish it off as well. She's having a nice night. She's up to 5. She's got 3 rebounds as well. Ernst, the other end, to make them pay. 1 extra, couldn't go. Mansfield runs it down. Met by Levy, crosses her over, goes away from the screen, just dumps it beautifully to Greaves, who was just able to run straight into it, pick it up, and in the end, has earned herself a couple of foul shots. I think you said it earlier in the game, Lauren Mansfield just makes everything so easy because she pretty much just leaves the ball there and just makes you run into it, pick it up, and do what you need to do with it.
She's just such a smart player. The Spirit definitely were getting prepared to come over the screen that Greaves was setting. She refused it, went baseline, Greaves dove. Lauren Mansfield saw that she was open There's nothing more you can ask from a point guard.
Rowe nails the second. Goulding having a very good quarter. Here's Levy, back to Skinner, gets in on the left hand, couldn't get it to bounce. Goulding gets the little push though, I think to Bogue, and it will be on Goulding, referee.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate little shove in the back. It does happen. Oh,
Yeah, well,
that was
hard to argue that one.
Definitely a two-hand. That also happens, but shake it off.
Goulding takes a seat.
She has been good for the Spirit.
She has. McLean comes in. Here's Maley. Mansfield still on 14. Couldn't thread the needle to Bogue. Now it's going to be Earns. He got the steal. Now the bounce pass to McLean. Couldn't finish it. And as we continue to see this season, now the Flames will push the other way.
So you see the Flames are sticking with that high pick and roll and just taking what comes.
Mansfield couldn't finish it. Worked hard was Bogue. She's going to earn herself. She's down for a little bit as we wait to see if she's okay, but just wanted this more, didn't she?
That's it.
Her second personal foul. Subs now for Bendigo on court. Amelia Todd Hunter, number 4, and number 31, Jenny Rintala.
Todd Hunter and Rintala in. Levy takes a seat, as does Ernst. So a big opportunity here for the last 2 minutes for Spirit without their two main weapons on the court. They're going to be able to continue to make sure this doesn't creep back into double figures. They've done such a wonderful job after it got to 13, picked it back to 5, but a big 2 minutes here to end the second quarter.
Absolutely. You wouldn't be shocked to see if either team, you know, kind of takes their foot off that aggressive defense. They just need to take a step back to try and just keep the game level. You know, like you said, the stars are out for Spirits. You want to have those players in that can just hold the fort while they get their little well-needed rest. You know, it is 2 minutes left in this half with Carly Ernst and Tessa Levy probably playing the majority of the minutes in the first half in game 2 to turn around and have a game a couple days later. They probably need this little bit of a spell.
About to sweep through, Amelia, but we're trying to look for the pass, Alicia, straight to Jenny on the catch, but you got to wait till Amelia clears. So she's going, they should chase, we should look. I look over the top. Cass, you got to be free on this side. And Demi, you're down the floor, stepping up the floor, but you'll start here first, all right? Okay, Alicia, you'll step in and be the lag. Listen up, offensively when we come down, it'll go Demi's side. It'll come back to Amelia. You're going to come through for the high-low. Seal low, you're flying high, okay?
Spirit on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
8-point lead for the Flames. 48% from the field. We spoke about them both shooting above 50 in the first period, but even in his quarter, 48% to 44, both shooting well from the three-point line as well, and foul shots. So both in the 80% as I commentator curse. Bogue. Sorry.
Substitution for the Flames on court, number 9, Natalie Burton.
Bogue takes a seat. Burton comes in. More pressure up the floor here. This will be interesting to see how they handle it without Tessa Levy. They break it fairly comfortably.
Well, you do have a lot of maturity on the court with Amelia Todd Hunter. She's a very experienced WNBL player.
Here's Maley. Going to attack Skinner now. It's the Burton. One-on-one. After the court cleared out. Swegmeyer Belger wants a screen. This is what the coaching staff of the Flames wanted. High pick and roll. This time it can't work as Swegmeyer Belger couldn't quite finish the right-hand layup. Now Bendigo will try and push. Here is Todd Hunter.
Even though this is, towards the end of the half, you don't want to see Spirit back off offensively. You really want to get a nice couple of buckets before you go into that halftime break.
Kept it alive, Froling with the offensive rebound. That's their 7th of the night, the Spirit. Second chance opportunities.
If the Bendigo Spirit can make offensive rebounds their niche, that'll be something very hard to stop, and that'll keep them in a lot of games this season.
Here's Todd Hunter, shot clock. Now at 10. Rintala half used the screen, in the end she just stepped back and got a nice look. Rintala kept it alive, exactly what you're talking about, B. The energy again. Nearly gave them another opportunity.
That's the thing, you are at the end of you're leading into half time, so energy shouldn't be saved at the moment. You should be on the glass.
Burton craftily, couldn't quite finish it. But they've kept it alive, talking offensive rebounds. And this time it's Greaves who's the recipient of it, and they, second chance opportunities, have now extended our lead back to 11. Skinner for 3. Froling again.
She has been there all last game, and she's been there all day today.
Here's Todd Hunter. 7-second differential between a shot and game clock. Todd Hunter throws it up, no good. They will get another opportunity. There's only 1 second on the shot clock. Let's have a look. This didn't graze the ring at all.
18, Carly Ernst.
Didn't get a good enough angle.
No, it's very hard to see if that did graze the rim. Shot clock operator doesn't believe it did, so 1 second on the shot clock.
1 second is enough to get a shot off. I think it's 0.4 where it has to be a tip. You have got Carly Ernst right there in the middle of the key. I wouldn't be surprised if you see if you see Demi Skinner and Alicia Froling just collapse in for a double screen and a lob coming up from the inbounder.
McLean to inbound. Got it off. Ernst, no. It was a quick second. I thought they were going to have time. You were right, B. But again, shot clock operator disagreed. Tracy York suggesting there's no way that was a second. And I am partial to agree with her, but either end, it's just 5.8 seconds for the Flames to go the length of the court. Here's the opportunity. Mansfield. She was hot in the first quarter. She sticks on 14 though with that. That one's off the iron. And it ends what has been an extremely entertaining first 20 minutes. The Flames got out to a 13-point lead. The Spirit got it back to 5. But now it sits at 11. 51-40 at Townsville Stadium as two teams chasing their first win of the Chemist Warehouse WNBL season. Bianca, your thoughts?
The high intensity of both teams has not dropped off one bit. They're both still playing very hard. The difference in this 11 points right now is who's actually converting on the shots that they're making, as well as defense and just knowing your scout. Right now, Lauren Mansfield hasn't had those open threes that she had in the first quarter, which is really good to see from the Spirit that they've made that adjustment. But what they're also doing now is they're leaving the middle of the key open. So that's how they keep getting that ball right down in the center of the key, 4 kickouts, and then a re-entry. And you just hate to see that. All that hard work done in the first half of the shot clock, just reward yourself in keeping them in front of you.
And the big thing, I guess, that I think straight up, and we spoke about this pre-game, was the very fact that the energy, was there going to be a lack of confidence? Was there going to be a concern of what happened in the games, in the results, what happened on their opening nights? And the very fact is it couldn't have been any further. When we spoke to both Tessa Lavey and Lauren Mansfield pre-game, they both said, look, we learned from it, there's positives to take out of it, and we're here to play again. This is what happens. You lose games, you win games. And the very fact is, while they are young, it hasn't dented their confidence at all, and it's leading to one of the most entertaining games in this short season.
No, it's been really great so far. No, neither team has actually dropped off. They've both attacked the rim. They've both been rebounding, and that's something that's really impressive from the Spirit because, you know, they're not one of the taller sides in the league right now, and they're probably one of the most energetic on the offensive boards. I believe they had 14 offensive boards against the Flyers, and the majority of them coming from Alicia Froling, which is a similar characteristic we're seeing tonight. And then you've got those bench rotations coming in, and nothing's really dropping off. The level of intensity is staying. The aggression at the hoop is also staying. So, you know, you love to see it. You love to see the example that's being set.
And with the Spirit, we'll get to the Flames in a moment because they've been brilliant. But the big thing will be Lauren Mansfield just went to work in that first period. 14 points, was able to do whatever she wanted, whatever. If it wasn't herself getting those looks, and we know how crafty and how great of a player she is. But Tracy York with the Spirit, they were able to nullify her a bit. Now, you can't shut her out because her ability to be able to bring other people into the game is why she has been such a great basketball for such a long time. But those little things, those little wins of being able to just nullify certain plays, to be able to learn on the job, which is what Tessa Levy said to us pre-game, that's something that both Sydney and Bendigo's coaching staff would have to be fairly happy with so far.
Absolutely, and you look at the other side with the Flames. When we got that little bit of their timeout, they said, we stopped Tessa Levy, we stopped Carly Ernst, we win the game. And they've also slowed them down. Have they stopped them? Absolutely not, but they've had to make other players become involved. So, no, you really can't be disappointed in the effort that they're putting forward thus far.
Let's have a look at the Chemist Warehouse highlights from what has been an entertaining first 20 minutes. 51-40, and this is how the game started. And Lauren Mansfield is doing what she does, being able to find her teammate in Burton, and then Levy at the other end. When you've played for Australia and you're pushing for those Olympic spots, this is what you need to be able to see, and both were great in the first half.
No doubt. Lauren Mansfield's just showing her diversity. She's hitting from the three. She's attacking the paint. She's getting her teammates open. Similar to what Tessa Levy's doing, she's leading every stat category for the Bendigo Spirit. She's attacking when there's a post player on her. She's pulling out and finding her teammates. I mean, I know I've said it before, you can't ask for anything else. There's nothing else you can do besides you want more shots to fall.
And they are getting good looks. We speak about it, 12 assists for the Spirit, 11 for the Flames. They've both had a really good ability in the first half to be able to make that extra pass and find the open shot on that situation. No, you can't go under because Lauren Mansfield's eyes just widen up and away it goes. But their ability to be able to find both teams that open shot with the extra pass is something that both coaching staffs will be absolutely ecstatic with.
Absolutely. That's, your teammate. Find that extra pass, find the open person, and have the confidence to knock down the shot. That's the biggest thing as well. Because if we're giving up this pass for you, we expect you to shoot it.
Tessa Levy there to Ernst, who's both have had really good first halves. We might start with Tessa Levy because the fact is she did have a frustrating game on Thursday night, and there's going to be a lot of people who have frustrating games against Southside Flyers, and the fact is that if it ain't Leilani Mitchell, if it isn't Amy Clydesdale, it's Mon Conti, and it has continued to run these sort of fresh, very in-your-face defenders for the whole 40 minutes. And Tessa Levy won't be the only one who's probably frustrated with it, but the way she's been able to bounce back and be able to control the game from the opening tip tonight is a credit to her, and again, why she is deep in, again, as she should be, conversations about being a part of that Opals team.
No, I couldn't agree more with everything you just said. She just continues to show her maturity and her experience, and the fact that she's also doing all of that while teaching the young kids that are coming off the bench with her. It's just, you love to see it. You love to see her constantly have to, maybe readjust, reinvent herself. Like you said, Leilani Mitchell is a hard player to go up against for an entire night. Just when you think you get to take a breath, in comes Amy Clydesdale. And just when you think you get to take another breath, here comes Mon Conti. Just speed. And all those players also like to be up in your grill when you defend them. Similar with Tessa Levy as a defender. You see that on Lauren Mansfield. She's up in her grill. I mean, arguably, she's doing a bit of a better job right now, but, we're going into the second half. Things change. So, yeah.
Huge part, I think, of the Flames' success this year is going to hinge on Lauren Scherf. She's a wonderful player, 5 points tonight, and has been a focal point. I think there's a couple of times, it might be a little bit of rush. She's only 1 of 5 from the field, but you mentioned it in the call. Her ability to be able to get deep into the key, once they start going down, which we know she does a lot, it's a whole different thing. That was a great way. Just see the back door, a little bit of the eye movement. She's able to then find Mansfield. And then here we go. She just finds herself in the perfect place. And as a point guard, this is the type of big play you want to play with, because if you throw it somewhere, she's going to get there.
Absolutely. You're going to just throw it up there and she will go and get it. She'll also go and get your rebound. And she's a great passer, as you mentioned. And as the game wears on and the fatigue wears on, and the Spirit are very conscious of, this 43% from the three-point line, they're going to start to stretch the floor just a bit more, and that key is going to open up beautifully for Lauren Scherf. So we just hope to see that they get fed back into the key for her to start converting on some points.
Great defensively as we're seeing that block there at the end. But the fact is, and this is basketball as it is all around the world, positionless basketball. So the 4, the 5, they don't just sit inside and just be able to try and bang bodies and try and get cheap layups. You have to be able to step out and hit the 3. And you mentioned the passing ability of Lauren Scherf. Not only one, and that's how we've seen when she was at the top of the key and was able to find Lauren Mansfield at the back door. But the fact is that when she can shoot the 3 like she does, it just opens everything up for her and her teammates.
Without a doubt. And, you know, because you're such a good passer, if you're a good passer as a postman, then your other postman's really happy because then you get that high-low action. You're not afraid to get the ball. Your guards aren't afraid to give you the ball outside of the key because, you know, one day you're going to hit her with the back door like we saw she did with Lauren Mansfield. And with the development of Lauren Scherf's career over the past 2 or 3 seasons, she's actually developed a pretty good 3-point shot. So you have to respect that too. Unfortunately, we haven't seen her actually take one tonight, but I'm sure if she does, that'll actually bring, again, the Spirit have to, you know, respect that. That opens up the key a bit more, which opens up things for Sinead Greaves, for Nat Burton, you know, really any guard if you want to run a pinch post set. Like, it's good to have diverse big men.
I hope you took a breath yesterday because it's about the only time we're going to get off for the next 6 weeks of how great this competition is going to be. The Chemist Warehouse 2020 WNBL season. It's fun. Already these teams, and one of the best things about it is that if you do lose, you haven't got long to sulk about it because you just got to get straight back on the floor. And these are the remaining matches. This is going to confuse me for the entire 6 weeks. This is still round 1. But the remaining matches, of course, the Boomers and the Flyers. Both teams had great wins on opening weekend, I'm going to call it. And then the Flyers straight back into it tomorrow against the Flames. So back-to-backs is something that the ladies are going to have to get used to. The Lynx, they were a little bit disappointing against Townsville in their opening game. Well, Adelaide Lightning were the opposite, the overtime win. What a big night it was for Talbot and for Ellie Wilson. And then if you want more basketball, you've got it. The Capitals got some injuries, but we know how deep they are, and they'll take on the Townsville Fire, who started like they should. Shyla Hill was brilliant. Lauren Nicholson was great as well. And the fact is that they all get back on the court. That is the remaining. That's just the weekend. Haven't even got to Monday yet. That is just the weekend in the Chemist Warehouse 2020 WNBL season. What have you most enjoyed out of the first few games? 4.5 games.
To be honest, the fact that I get to see basketball almost every other day, considering we've been so long without sport, and just the accessibility that, you know, we have this year to the players. But I actually like seeing that we've got fully homegrown talent. You know, it is unfortunate to see that we don't have imports because they do bring a different level of athleticism to the league. But it is, my favourite thing is just you've got DPs that normally don't travel on games, you know, even just interstate. But they're up there, they're living, they're eating, they're breathing, and they're playing. You know, Shelby Britton's getting a lot of court time for the Spirit, as did, I think, Piper Dunlop hit the floor. Sydney is rotating through their entire bench. I know Maddie O'Hare hit the court a bit, and she's, you know, she's not necessarily DP, but she's been on that roster for a long time, and it's just nice to see these players are getting regular opportunities rather than those high losses or, you know, those big end games.
On and off the court too. To be in this basketball environment for six weeks, we know how different it is, but to be living and breathing it, learning, meetings and DPs who went on the road and just learning different things about being a professional athlete, it's something that's only going to, and I said it earlier, keep the league in good stead and great for Australian basketball going forward. And the no import thing, I couldn't rave any more about Basketball Australia and WNBL, how well they've been able to put this together, considering the year 2020 has been for not just sport, but everyone right across the world. But the fact is it leads to this, not just a competition, but is absolutely thriving, both on and off the court, and kudos to them, and it's exciting.
It's so exciting, and you know, as a former athlete, who couldn't think of anything better than you get to play basketball with minimal training sessions? You know, and that's the nature of the beast. It's positive and negative, but you know, you get to go. You did your kind of 2 to 3 week preseason, depending on if you're a Melbourne Victoria team or you are anywhere else. Your preseason's a little slim. I mean, you will feel it in your muscles, but there's not as many sprints, not as many training sessions, just more games, more like on-the-job learning.
Well, Australian basketballers, both WNBL and NBL, have traditionally been full-time practice players, and they play games every now and then. Now that's changing. Like, you train 5 days a week, and you just play sometimes one game. So the very fact is that we're seeing more and more basketball, and like this, it's the best thing for the sport. All right. 11-point lead for the Flames. You tipped the Flames pre-game. You still...
Oh, look, I'm going to stick with it. However, I will be happily wrong if the Spirit come through. You know,
Beautifully said.
If they do win, they've earned it. And similar with Sydney, it's one of those things where I'm like, yes, I think Sydney are going to win, but it's not for lack of wanting for the Spirit to get a level up, because both teams are playing just so hard. And, you know, here we go again, seeing Carly Erst getting just a nice deep seal, unfortunate rollout.
11-point lead. Swagged by Belga. Here's Burton. Little handoff. Couldn't quite finish it. Todd Hunter with the rebound. Now Levy. She's on triple-double watch here. She's had a great first half. Technically, we're on triple-double watch. She isn't. She's just doing it. Great D by Burton. And look at him run. Maley right at Ernst, who is up to the challenge.
Great block from Carly Ernst and great attack from Annalie Maley. You can't shy away from those things, because, you know, tonight it's Carly Ernst, tomorrow it's Liz Cambage, next week it's Kayla George. There's always someone.
Here's Burton to inbound. Here is Scherf. Spoke about her at halftime. Mansfield's 14 points in the first quarter. Still on the 14. Off the Burton screen. Little pick and pop. 17-footer. Dead ball. Carly Ernst was going to try it, and she just pulled out the last minute. This is, yeah, genius. Swagmeyer Belga, smart. Grab the net. It'll stay with...
Yeah, Bendigo Spirit started the half with the ball, so it'll stay with the Flames.
Here is Mansfield. Had Ernst on a mismatch. Now Scherf's got Pulvast on her. She's going to go one-on-one. Shot clock's at 4. Maley's going to have to get busy. Todd Hunter gets a hand in. Great defense. Maley just had to fang it up. But offensive rebounds again. This time it's Swagmeyer Belga. And again, the Flames. Mansfield wide open. Second chance opportunity. She makes them pay. She's got 17. They're her first points since the first quarter. But the lead's back to 14, and it's the biggest of the afternoon.
That is a great find from Sydney. Wherever Lauren is on the three-point line, if I'm her teammate, I'm trying to, you know, give her that heat check over and over again.
Another turnover. This is how they started the second quarter, Spirit. 2 straight turnovers, and again, a sluggish start for the Spirit. Here is Mansfield. Kicks it out to Burton. Now it's in the Scherf. This is what you spoke about, B, how deep she gets.
Yeah, she's almost got both her feet in the charge circle. She's so deep. And that's in... She's probably been there, probably as the ball has crossed half. Yes, we need to kind of keep an eye on the 3-second rule. Do they rarely call that? Yep. And then she gets a wide open step back on the baseline.
You spoke about it. You spoke about her range. And the first 5 points all to the Flames. She's up to 7. And Tracy York says, again, has to pull the pin on an early timeout. It was just a minute into the second quarter. And again, she's had to do an early one here in the third to, again, take that deep breath. Suggest to the Spirit they've got to lift the intensity again or the game could get out of hand.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes that's just what you need. And if the girls are, if the women are responding to it, then you may as well do it to get that answer that you need. Because, again, in this season, you just don't have time to let the girls work it out on their own. You need them to answer. You need them to make that adjustment, because losses will matter a lot more than they have. Because you don't get that season to kind of come together. You've got days.
Wherever you might be right around Australia, don't forget, when it comes to fixtures, when it comes to the breaking news, when it comes to everything Chemist Warehouse WNBL season, socials. Make sure you jump on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, whatever it is you use, hashtag WNBL20. As this season's only get bigger and better as it continues. 2 games today. We've got, of course, the big one, the Boomers and the Flyers both coming off wins to kickstart their seasons directly after us. And tomorrow, the triple header. We will see the Flyers and the Flames actually go back-to-back, a Saturday, Sunday in Townsville.
It's interesting you say back-to-back, because it is back-to-back days, but then they get 1 day off and they're back on the court again.
Here's Levy. Little handoff. Now Levy went to Size up, Chef. What a pass. Knew exactly where Froling was going to be. Used the left hand. Froling did the same thing. And that'll make Tracy York and the Spirit coaching staff a hell of a lot happier.
You just cannot be disappointed in a play like that.
Swagmire Belger into the key. Almost lost it. Was able to pick it up. Took a little bit of contact. She's going to have an opportunity for an and one. She's up to 12. And if it's not Lauren Mansfield, it's the other guard doing this.
And I'm sure most teams will agree with me here. Swagmire Belger, one of her signature moves is a one dribble spin. So you've got to be prepared for it. She loves it and she's good at it, and she just never gives up on a play.
Again, offensive rebound. This time it's Burton. Couldn't quite finish it. Maley again gives him another opportunity. She goes up. Froling gets her on the wrist, suggesting she copped a little elbow for her troubles, but Annalie Maley having a wonderful night. Again, her tenacity on the offensive rebound gives herself or her team more opportunities to get a new shot clock or another shot.
No doubt, she's the player that you love to play with and hate to play against. You can't harness that aggression. You just can't stop it. You just have to match it or get out of the way.
$18-point lead. Here's his pressure. Maley gets a hand to it. Lazy pass by Todd Hunter. Maley looks at her teammates, but in the end, she uses the little friendly roll from 7 foot, and the lead is 20.
Sydney have come out with a full court press that has rattled the Spirit just a little bit.
Levy guarded by Scherf with the little mismatch. Doesn't use it. Bulvash goes in. Little 12-footer off the right-hand dribble. No good. Burton loses it, gets it, loses it, gets it. Now she says to her point guard, Lauren Mansfield, let's start again. Flames by 20. Here is Mansfield. She's got 17. Burton, great lob inside. Scherf again, and again she misses one she probably should have made. Todd Hunter tried to reach for the ball, but she was out of court, so it'll stay with 7 seconds on the shot clock. A Flames ball from the baseline.
And as we've spoken all day, Lauren Scherf is just that deep in the key that you've got your high-low coming from outside of the three-point line, and it's getting in there. Again, with Annalie Maley just cleaning up, giving them the extra possessions.
Shot clock's at 4. Swagmire Belger can't hit it. Scherf gives another opportunity. Offensive rebounds now 14 for the Flames. Mansfield. Swagmire Belger started this. Does she finish it? No, she can't. Goulding back on the court, straight back into the action. She gets her 4th rebound. Here's Levy. Hasn't scored for a little while. Can't hit it off the dribble. Falls to Mansfield, who will run the other way. Takes on McLean. I heard the slap from here.
That's a great attack. Just caught her with that hesitation and just kept going. That put Cassie McLean on the back foot.
20-point lead for the Flames. 15 offensive rebounds. They're shooting only 43% from the field now after being in the 60s for majority of the first half. But it's not mattering when they're getting so many shots. 7 extra shots as a field goal. And when it comes to the three-point line, 7 of 17 are 41%. Those second opportunities are turning into points.
No doubt, and you know what we aren't seeing right now is the Spirit on the offensive glass. That thing that was working for them so well in the first half. They need to find that, because that's exactly what the Flames have done, and that's what we're seeing on the scoreboard.
20-point lead. Now Kasoglu back in, had a really good first half, had a great game on Thursday night, 12 points off the bench. Swagmire Belger takes a seat. Second one is good for Mansfield. She's up to 18. Big couple of minutes here for the Spirit. And this is what they need to do. They get the ball in Tessa Levy's hand when they're trying to break down either the defense or to make sure they get set up.
Yeah, you definitely want the ball in your general's hands, especially right now. You know, they are down 21 points. You just need to chip away at that score. There's still plenty of time for them to come back, so you want some real confidence on the court at the moment.
Negasoglu going to use a little two-man game. We heard the coaching staff talk about it earlier. Scherf couldn't quite finish it. Goulding with the rebound. Levy gets nice and deep, too easy. Able to use the penetration, pulls up, use the 2 feet. Nice little jump stop. And that ends a little bit of the rot there. It's Mansfield at the other end, right back at it. That one's short. And now Levy will push again. Sees Goulding in the end, decides not to use it, takes it all the way to the bucket, gets a little bump. Referee says, play on.
Wouldn't be happy about it, but you know, what the ref says is what goes. And that is a great find, again, with Lauren so deep in the paint. She's there where you need her to be. And by Lauren, I mean Lauren Scherf.
McLean takes a seat. Britton comes on, Rowe comes on as well. 19-point lead for the Flames. 18 for Mansfield. She leads all scorers. Levy's got 13, and they're battling each other right now. Now she gets a little mismatch. Levy this time all the way to the bucket again. Got all the way to the rim. Did all the hard work, couldn't finish it.
That's what I'd like to see more from the Spirit right now, is Tessa Levy is just doing a great job getting to the rim. So let's put some plays in there for her to score.
Foul called on number 2 for this third.
We have a look at this. Nagasoglu again. She likes that little look-away drive.
It's very crafty, very sneaky, and you know, she's been rewarded both times tonight by doing it. And when she hasn't gotten a score, she's actually thrown those little lobs into Lauren Scherf.
$19-point lead for the Flames. Bogue to the foul line. First is good. As is the second. Ernst back on as well. Full court pressure out of the foul shots again. Slows the Spirit and gets them out. Already 10 seconds off the shot clock before they can get into any offensive set. It's Levy off Ernst's screen. Great pass.
It was a great find off a horn set. Nice little reverse layup from Paige Price. I believe those are her first points for this evening. Oh, I take that back. She went to the free throw line.
Mansfield steps back. We're right behind it. Never looked like missing. She's up to 21.
She is shooting the lights out today. Spirit will really need to run her off that three-point line.
Levy at the other end. Trying to up the intensity. Turned herself into a defender who got the knee in and will go and earn a little break for her trouble. She's having a great night as well. Todd Hunter back in.
She's very, very close to a double-double tonight.
13, 6, and 9. The zone from the Flames. Britton, Ernst, shot clock's at 5. That's her shot, that's no good. Bogue with the rebound. That's her 5th rebound, and now we'll push.
Similar to what happened 2 days ago against the Flyers. Bendigo Spirit are taking really good shots, they're just not falling for them. And Sydney are just moving the ball so well and definitely giving Lauren Mansfield a well-deserved heat check.
What a pass from Rowe to be able to find in rhythm. Right now, the best shooter on the court, Lauren Mansfield. Lazy pass. This time it's just taken right away by Bogue. Left hand, she finishes it. And this is becoming a bit all too easy for the Flames as the lead is out to 27.
This is a great, great performance from Sydney Flames. They are just stepping on the gas and just going and going and going.
What do you do and what do you say if you are right now? Something we have raved about, and we spoke about it a lot, Peter Hawley and I, on Thursday night, about them keeping the energy up, keeping their heads up, this young Spirit team. What are you saying to them right now? Because they're working hard, the energy's there, but they're not getting the end result. You've probably been in these situations. How hard is it to keep your head up when things aren't going your way?
It is extremely difficult, but, I mean, everyone's been in a situation where you've come back from deficits like this. Will they come back this far down? I'm not sure, but you can definitely chip away at it. You've got to be able to play under pressure because yes, the score margin is quite large, but imagine if you're in a game where you're down 5. Your head could be down just the same way. You have to keep it up because you have to keep going. And again, we mentioned it this season, you've got to turn around and play tomorrow. You've got a day off, you've got to turn around and play and do 2 more games. You've just got to be able to work on that next play and chip away at it. And this is the time where you need to focus on what your scout has said, what your game goals are, what your values are. These are the times that you need to focus in on those little things and get out of yourself.
And that's so important too, because they're learning. They are learning, and it might not necessarily be for this particular season, but if you can keep this young core together for the next 2 or 3 seasons, and these are the moments that will hold them in good stead in big games. So, scoreboard, not fun right now for the Spirit.
You know, but this is where you also tell the players, like, you got to do this for each other. Great shot from Carly Ernst.
2 points, Carly Ernst.
Yeah, that's what makes the Boomers so good right now, is they've played with each other for so long and they've got that trust within each other. So that's what needs to start to develop here, you know. Sometimes you lose big games. Sometimes you win. You've just got to stick together.
Offensive foul on Greaves. Feet was set, but just might have used
A little bit of a hip, knee action
hip at the
there.
last second.
Yeah, definitely stepped into it a little bit. Sometimes you can get away with it.
Here is Ernst. Great pass. Finds Price with a nice cut. She works very nicely off the ball, Paige Price.
She definitely does. She cuts. She's a player that if you're defending her, you're a little annoyed because you've got to keep moving. Your head's always on a swivel. Paige Price is really good about finding that open space, something she was really good at doing with her Australian junior campaign. Just all over the court.
Ernst. It's a tough shot in the end. Slight bailout possibly, although not too much of an argument from the defender. So Carly Ernst will go to the foul line for 2. Rowe picks up her second, and Ernst will try to add to her 13 points she currently has. Of course, was brilliant with 16 on Thursday night. Second one is good. Back to this, I'm going to say zone, but they changed it back up. It looked like it was great move. Ernst got the hand in, but it was to no avail. Greaves was able to make it count.
That's the thing that you love to see from Sydney. They are up 26 points at this point, but they have not stopped. You know, their bench players have come in and they're just as aggressive as their main players. This will help them in the long run of this season to be able to get those rotations through, and they'll have the confidence in those bench players to come in and step up.
My apologies, I think I said Greaves. It was Bogue, her first points. Can't make it 3. Levy back in. Big 2 minutes here. Need to find something, the Spirit. Have been completely outplayed in this quarter. That'll do.
It's a good decision.
Price having a nice night. She's up to 8. Never looked like missing as we go the other way. Negasoglu, that did not
Look like missing
either. And we know she can do. And it's becoming all too easy for the Flames. They are scoring at ease. Here's Levy. Guarded by O'Hare. Now she goes away from the first screen. In the end, they're able to get the job done.
That's what you like to see from the Spirit. They're still shooting with confidence. They're still attacking the rim, and that just can't let up either.
Negasoglu, who is a great backup for Lauren Mansfield. Now we want to push. Levy doing what she does. Tried the shovel pass, handed away from the defender. Ends up getting to where she wanted to get it to in the end. Skinner couldn't finish it. And we're into the last minute. It's got a little raggedy here in the last couple of minutes here. Negasoglu just steps back. We, again, right behind it. Bede, that was never missing. She's up to 10. She's having a very nice night. 2 of 2 from the land of plenty.
Oh, right now, if I was that Flames team is just, you know, the rim is as big as a beach ball at this stage. It is a hula hoop. That's the better comparison. It is massive. You know, the confidence is with them. The momentum's with them.
Todd Hunter couldn't make it work after the offensive rebound. And the last shot with the shot clock off will be, you'd think, for the Flames. Negasoglu's starting to feel it. She's got the last 5. Now she's going to work off the screen. Little stunner step. Gets into the key all the way. Uses the left hand. Couldn't quite finish it.
She definitely got herself deep in the paint. Got a good little shot off, considering that, you know, there's only 0.3 seconds on the clock. I think we briefly discussed this on a shot clock. 0.4 is when you can actually get a full-blown set shot off. At this stage, it would be a tip.
Turns off, it is off Greaves' hand, so that we agree with. Todd Hunter realises that there's no use even trying. She just holds it. Mind you, we did see the other night, Amy Clydesdale hit a 3 for the Flyers right on, I think it was 3/4 time. And the referees, it was a 30-point lead at the time. I thought they could have probably just let it slide and allowed it to count for the entertainment value. But
I definitely think from, like, you know, watching on KO or watching from not on the court, if it didn't include the backboard lighting up, you probably could have got away with it. But as she's bending her knees, the lights definitely came on.
That is fair.
But I would have argued it.
I would have said, I think for entertainment purposes in a very, very, very big blowout. All right, that was a pretty big third quarter right there for the Flames. The lead is out to 26. They're playing exceptionally well. What exactly do you think is being said? We'll start with the Flames because it's going to be a much more positive huddle. But what do you think they need to continue to? They're going to win the game, but continue to work on to make sure that they can go, hey, we got to win. This is how we're going to do it again next time.
I think the biggest thing that Coach Hibbert is probably saying to them is keep doing what you're doing. Keep finding the open man. Keep being aggressive. They'll probably hone into more like, let's stick to our scout. Let's do what we're supposed to do, because tonight it's the Spirit, tomorrow it's the Flyers. And unfortunately for the Spirit, the Flyers have a deeper bench. So if you can't commit to your scout on that first 5, your second rotation isn't far off from being the same. So it's not letting the gas up, not playing to the scoreboard, it's playing to your strengths, to what you want to work on. 24 points for Lauren Mansfield. She leads all scorers, also has 5 assists, and what has been a great night to back up the great night she had on Thursday. Carly Ernst leading the Spirit. She's got 14. Tessa Levy's got 13. She also got 6 rebounds and 9 assists, Tessa Levy. So I know you mentioned almost a double-double, but we are, not she's doing it, we are on triple-double watch with Tessa Levy. And what will be interesting to see how many minutes Ernst and Levy play in the fourth quarter, considering they are a fair way down and they're going to be, as you touched on earlier, carrying the bulk of the responsibility to score, but also the minutes as well. Absolutely. It's just, and you know, a fair few of the commentators across these games have mentioned it, is that's probably the hardest thing right now in this season, is being able to manage minutes. And it's, do you manage minutes for the season, or do you manage minutes for the game? Or, you know, someone on, you know, I think Tola, I'm not really sure what her minute cap is, but do you play her because they're going into overtime, or do you have to sit her that particular game? It's just difficult for him.
I don't know what her minutes restriction is either, as Goulding hits a nice little long range too. I think it was exceeded, because I think they were 100% looking at regulation at overtime. So that's a good point. Good pass inside.
Another deep seal. That's what's really good. They're just getting very, very deep and holding that position. And credit to the guards. They're getting the ball in with some extraordinary defense from Maddie O'Hare.
Couldn't quite finish it. Did all the hard work. McLean with the rebound.
She definitely did, shooting that gap.
Here's Levy. Goulding at the top.
Nice little fake handoff, yeah.
Rentala, she's up to 6.
She's a solid player for the Bendigo Spirit.
She was really good on Thursday night. I was impressed with her. She got 6 points, 3 rebounds and 2 assists tonight. So we keep talking about it, but these are the opportunities that some of these players are going to get that they might not have had in the past.
Absolutely.
Now they want to push the other way through Price, who was also having a great night. Levy. agrees in the mismatch to get all the way to the bucket. And this time she's able to finish it.
That's just a fantastic redrive. You know, when you've got a bigger post, a bigger body on you, and you know you can just out-quick them.
Oh, nice.
She's been doing that all night.
Levy again. 4 for Bogue. Goulding. McLean. Look good from here. No good though. O'Hare with the rebound. Her first. Soglu, who's been really, really impressive again this time. Goes away from the screen. McLean reaches in. Gets a... Should we have a look? Gets a hip into it, I think. Wasn't quite there. By quite, I mean not even close.
I mean, like you mentioned earlier, Nagasoglu is such a good backup for Lawrence Mansfield. You know that just floor general doesn't fade when there's a substitution. She's just as crafty. She's just as good a shooter.
O'Hare, one extra pass. This time it was Rose. She couldn't make it count. And now we're going to push. Levy surveying the options. One of them's Price. She is having a very nice night. She's up to 11. Levy's got 10 assists. And that lead is back to 21. And the Spirit are showing plenty of it right now. Nagasoglu. It's going to count. That is a brilliantly crafty move. Took her time. It was nearly in slow motion. She didn't panic when she got the first bump. Talk us through it, B, because...
Well, I mean, similar to what you've said, what Mansfield does is those no-look drives. Nagasoglu she was looking high post, little shake and bake, got inside, sidestepped through the players, which you don't want to see as a Spirit player, and just a nice little finesse off the finger roll. And because of that, the ball just rolled in for you, which is what you love to see. Gets a chance to make it a three-point play and doesn't get to convert, but Nat Burton's there to say, not 3, we'll take 4.
2 points for number 9, Nat Burton.
Good look, Horvath.
That is a very good look. Unfortunate overthrow.
If you have a look at this, I reckon Levy just gets her caught up just for that split second. It was probably enough.
It's a beautiful setup, a good use of the screen. And those are the things that you'll start to see work over the next couple of weeks with players learning how to play with each other that you usually see them do in pre-season.
Rogue being aggressive. Nagasoglu. Burton's been great again. Here's Kalia. Here's Scherf. Again, she gets deep. Again, she gets it. Rather than be aggressive, tries to find a teammate. This time it is...
Fouls called on blue 21, Paige Price.
Let's have a look.
She's definitely attacking the rim.
So Price did a hell of a lot wrong there, to be fair.
And number
Yeah.
19, Carly Ernst.
Ernst back in. Price takes a seat. Who's having a great night. 11 points at 75%. Gets a nice little shooter's touch. Not the second time, but again, run down brilliantly. Great pass.
And right now,
Here is Rowe.
those things that are going to make are going to be the difference makers in whether or not this lead gets chipped away.
We were raving about the offensive rebounds of the Spirit early in the game on the back of the fact they did it really well against the Flyers on Thursday night. They've been now out-rebounded. It's been 19 offensive rebounds to 10. So in the end, 45 to 30 on the rebounds.
Tessa Levy's really getting herself in the paint. Nice aggressive attacks. Just the ball is not rolling. Nice pass from Paige Price. And unfortunately, a little shove in the back from Denny Skimmer.
We have a timeout for the Brydens Sydney Flames. Timeout brought to you by Gatorade. Gatorade changing the game since 1965.
It has been an interesting afternoon, high octane. There's a lot of excitement early, and the important thing is review might be right around Australia. What a weekend we have in the Chemist Warehouse WNBL. The fact is the basketball just keeps getting better and better and better, and some of that little bit of rust that might have been there because of the unorthodox opener or pre-season or lack thereof is slowly getting smashed away, because the Flames again looking at 100 points. We said the Flyers do it the other night, so I'm not sure with Tracy York, we can't get our microphones in there. And to be fair, just been a little bit careful about maybe showing the whiteboard. I was saying on Thursday night, get deeper in there, and there might have been a couple said, but the fact is, defensively, Bendigo are going to struggle. They have struggled two nights in a row.
They have, unfortunately. It's just that, you know, putting together full quarters, I think, is going to be what they're going to focus on for the next game. They came out aggressive the first quarter, only down 11, I believe. Came out aggressive the second quarter, a couple of turnovers to start the quarter, but they got their momentum back. And then that back end of that second quarter really just wasn't pretty.
No, it wasn't. It's been a good little matchup here too. Nagasoglu has been really good. He's sure.
She's made her way up to 12 points again, so she's backed up what she did 2 days ago.
Galea got a great pass.
That is a wonderful pass.
Good.
Number 9, Natalie Burton.
Nat Burton, another player. She's up to 10. She's got 8 rebounds. Just plays her role perfectly. Extremely smart basketball. Knows exactly where she needs to be. Here's Ernst on shift. Been a fun matchup. She just hands it off. Golding. Sorry, Price rather. Couldn't finish it.
I've said it a few times tonight. Price is finding herself in the right positions at all times.
Nagasoglu. Oh, I was about to say, do not put her hand down. That's what she'll do. It rattled in and out. Gave a real thought to it. Goulding with the rebound. That's her 5th. Now they're going to push. What can the Spirit give? Tries to dump it inside to Ernst. It was always going to be a tough pass into tall timber. And now Nagasoglu surveying the options. Scherf couldn't get inside. It's got scraggly.
Definitely just a scrappy little segment just there, from both ends. Both point guards are, at all times, are finding the right pass.
More
I
substitutions.
think fatigue is probably starting to be a bit of a factor at this stage.
In our 4th and final quarter.
Hey there, you okay?
All right. 3 fouls on row. Not a concern now. Goulding, great pass. Just a little bit out of reach for Britain, but they would have been able to do. You touched on this earlier. That high ball post and then screen off it. They're almost there. They haven't been able to execute it. I know I'm sitting here saying how great it is. They haven't been able to score off it, but it is one of those little things that they will be able to get sooner rather than later.
Absolutely, that's it. You know, those are the things that you drill in practice. You keep going and going and going until a team, you know, gets 5 possessions or gets a certain amount of scores. But those are the things you weren't they probably didn't have time to do because they needed to get through all their sets, all their baselines, all their sidelines, defensive sets. So, you know, it will happen, and it's good to see that they've got the mechanics down at this stage. Now they just need a little bit of flair.
Britain couldn't finish it. Oh, Nagasoglu. She's fast becoming one of my favourite players in the Chemist Warehouse WNBL. She's up to 14. She was great off the bench. A little crossover, looks one way, goes the other, the former Florida Gator. She's up to 14. She's having a very nice night. This is exactly what the WNBL season is about. The depth. Lauren Mansfield, superstar. She needs a rest. We've got an extremely good basketballer coming in off the bench who can do that and give us 14 a night. And that is what all these teams have over the season.
Yes, and you know what? Apart from the fact that one's named Lauren and one's name is Funda, they're both very similar players in the way that they aggressively change direction, the no-look pass, the lights-out shooting. That's going to come in handy in a couple days. You know, it's definitely going to come in handy tomorrow because that's exactly what they're going to be playing up against. Similar to every team right now, that's going to be the difference maker, and where you land on that ladder is how deep your bench goes and how much they can keep the pace when your studs need a bit of a breath.
30-point lead for the Flames, just under 4 minutes to go. Do not go anywhere, though. The Boomers and the Flyers next up. Battle of the two Melbourne teams who were both victorious to kickstart their Chemist Warehouse campaigns.
We'll definitely see both teams have cleared the bench for this last 4 minutes, which is really good to see. Get that experience in while you can. Build that confidence. Piper Dunlop has entered the game for the first time tonight. It's really good to see Shelby Brydens for the Bendigo Spirit just play with such confidence. Unfortunately, as the 8 seconds violation gets called. She's an aggressive guard and she really gets after it.
Great defense by the Flames, who have been good defensively tonight or this afternoon. Oh, nice move.
That was a nice little, she drove baseline right, saw the help coming, switched it over into her left with a nice little baby. Don't want to say hook, finger roll, touch something under the basket.
That was a very nice move. She's up to 6. 3 of 3 from the field. A couple of rebounds to go with that as well. Brydens looking, here's Ernst. Korvas, that's an offensive foul. Lowered the shoulder. We have a look at this again. Great defense.
Absolutely great defense. Great positioning, way to read the play. As we see again, Flames are definitely just continuing getting on the glass, not taking their foot off the gas.
20 offensive boards they've had. It gives Kalia an opportunity. She's inside, used a little step around. Ernst might have got her on the wrist.
Foul's been called on number 18, Carly Ernst. That is 5 fouls for Carly.
She's fouled out.
Leads the game replaced
14
by
points,
number 31,
a
Jenny
couple of
Rintala.
rebounds. Again, another pretty good night for Carly Ernst, who's expecting to have a very big campaign. She hasn't disappointed in the first 2 games for the Spirit. Rintala comes on to replace her. Nails both. Oh, that's great against Kalia, who is just all over the place right now. Tenacity takes it all the way to the rim, couldn't finish it.
Nice little fake pass and then trying to go up. Unfortunately, just a bit short, so got blocked. But that'll work at another stage in the season.
Here's Brydens. Are we going to see another 100 points on the board in the Chemist Warehouse WNBL season? Rintala got nowhere to go. She slips. Britain's got to let it go. Shot clock's at 2. Now it's going to run long. Oh, yeah, it's a nice pass. Hey. Oh, misses one she should have made, Bogue. He's having a really nice night. Miss an opportunity there.
Definitely a missed opportunity. It's good to see the Spirit, you know, they didn't give up on the play, chased it down, and, you know, when you do that, you get rewarded sometimes.
Korvas for 3. Off the iron, run down by Bogue, her 3rd rebound. And Kalia again, who is, we talk about Mansfield and Nagasoglu, the very fact she's come out and been able to have this confidence straight up has been great. O'Hare can't make it work.
It was a great find in the corner. Probably didn't need to hesitate. She probably could have just shot it. Would have given her a little more momentum through that shot. Really like to see the Spirit connect on a couple of these 3 attempts. You know, they're nice, good shots, in rhythm, just not falling.
And this is the frustration, I think. Now 6 of 21 from the 3-point line, 29%. They are getting good looks. They got good looks on Thursday night as well, and not suggesting they're going to make 100% of the shots, but there's opportunities that I think they would expect to knock down, and no doubt sooner rather than later they will. O'Hare, lovely move. And 100 points now seems inevitable. Froling, hands off to Paul Vast.
Nice inside find.
Good kick out, Rintala. Got herself some space, never that time. We've been behind a couple that have looked nice. That one never looked like it was going to go down.
Definitely came off a bit to the right. But she did have rebounders in position, and they've been rewarded with a baseline attempt at a shot.
Oh, good look inside.
Nice little thread of that needle.
Look, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar half skyhook there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Don't see the skyhook, not nearly enough.
Well, we did see it from Carly Ernst against the Flyers, and that was beautiful over Liz Cambage.
That was very nice.
2 of them, I believe, yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing a few more skyhooks.
Well, they work for a reason.
They do.
But it is a skill.
Bogle got a foul line for a couple. Obvious foul on Froling. First one, no good. What a night of Chemist Warehouse WNBL basketball. What a weekend we have ahead of us. Second one is nice. And there is the triple figures for the Sydney Uni Flames, who have been outstanding. There you go. Free Big Macs if you're around Queensland and you bring up the 100. I don't want the spectators going nuts. McLean.
Tried to find a way.
Yeah. And she has found a way. While she didn't get through what she needed to, foul's been called. She got the foul on for a couple.
That is her second personal foul.
First one's off. So is the second one. Froling with the offensive board. And it'll stay with the Spirit. A great play by Kalia continues.
Personal foul.
And this game is just petering out just a little bit. McLean, nice little spin, but threw an extra little step in. Referee was up to it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The idea was there. The idea was definitely there. Just had that little bit of a skip hop on the turn.
Kalia runs in her own play, but is able to maintain it. So clock's going to wind down in a big Sydney Flames win. They've been really impressive tonight. And they're going to win by 37 points, 100-63 in the first game of a 5-game weekend in the Chemist Warehouse WNBL. Wherever you might be right around Australia, you will not miss a second. So if you're on your couch right now, stay right there. Because while the Flames get the win, the Spirit won't have long to mull it over. They will be back into it very shortly as well. But a big win, Sydney Uni Flames, 100-63. Before we're joined by a very special guest, what do you think?
I thought it was a really entertaining game. You know, both teams played with a lot of heart, a lot of energy, and we saw that when they first came out. Unfortunately, it seems to be the same issue for the Spirit in that lack of defense towards the back end of the game. Could be fatigue, could just be a little bit of immaturity, so I'd love to see them, you know, correct that moving forward. But, I mean, hats off to Sydney Flames. They came out and shot the lights out. Didn't look like they were going to stop anytime soon. You know, Lauren Mansfield has just set the bar really high for herself. And then you've got her backup point guard, Nakasaku, who is just like, hey, cool, I'll come meet you up there. Let's get it done. So, you know, really good game to watch. Very entertaining. Just would love to see the Spirit, you know, probably chalk up a win or just not have such a heavy loss. Definitely don't want to see this, for lack of a better word, the spirit of the players to fade this early in the season.
24 points for Lauren Mansfield, 5 assists to go with it. She had 14 points in the first quarter. She was cooking, and the first win for the Flames this year, and she joins us now. Lauren, we spoke pre-game. You spoke about taking positives out of the game from the other night, and it looked like straight from the tip you were able to do that, and the energy was there.
Yeah, I mean, we started with our defense and we were able to get out in transition and run, and I think that just opened up great looks for us, outside and inside. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the win.
Again, Lauren, great performance this evening. What do you guys do with tonight's game? How much review do you do into that? It's similar to the question I asked you early on. How do you prepare for tomorrow's game? This was such a high-scoring game, but it'll be a little more intense for you tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. I think we'll definitely still review the game because we're looking to build. We know it's a process, so we want to get better each time we get on the court. We got a big game tomorrow, so we're really going to concentrate on our recovery, so we're ready to go.
Lauren, what's it like that first quarter? You've had many of these moments where you get hot and it's just fun, but when they're going under screens and you're just pulling up and you feel and you look confident and you're knocking them down, how much fun, how much exciting love for the game are you having in those type of moments?
Yeah, it's always nice when you make your shots. So I was feeling very confident, and they continued to go under, so I was just staying confident and shooting, and it's a lot of fun when you can play that way.
What's it look like now? You just get in the ice bath and get ready for, because as we keep talking about, this is a short season, we're back to back, you might get a little day off here and you're back on it. What's the Saturday evening look like? Just ice baths and some recovery and get ready to go?
Yeah, ice baths and lots of food.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're into lots of food here, Bianca, so at least we're halfway there. No ice bars for the commentary team. Hey, congratulations. You were brilliant again. Nice way to get on the board in season 2020, and look forward to you doing it again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Lauren Mansfield, brilliant. 24 points, 5 assists, and really she did set the tone in that first quarter as we see her knock down a 3, all thanks to Chemist Warehouse in the second quarter, but she set the tone that first quarter, didn't she?
She absolutely did. She set the tone of the entire game and something for herself moving into the next game. Everyone loves, like she said, everyone likes to knock down a shot. Everyone loves to knock down multiple shots in that first quarter, let alone the whole game.
Tessa Levy, which you see some highlights a little bit here, that was a great pass. And when they started to knock these down, it was almost like how far for the Flames. And there we go, we see, of course, Bo be able to use her body there. Almost my new favourite player here. Negasoglu just go bang, she had 14. But Tessa Levy, she was really good. We know she has to lead from the front. She's the opal, she's the point guard, she's the captain. And while it was a losing effort, she was really good for the Spirit.
She was absolutely brilliant for the Spirit. She definitely kept that pace going. It's like we talked about, how hard is it for you not to drop your head? And she never did. And that's the example that you need in your captain. You need to have someone that's like, yeah, the scoreboard's like, it's a bit unfortunate at this moment, but I'm still going to keep attacking. I'm still going to set the tone for my side of the floor. And she did that really well. And she's done that really well already. So we just hope that continues to happen and we start to see some positives to reflect on the scoreboard.
100-63 was the end result. This is how it all sort of worked. Shot really well. Almost 60% in the first half for the Flames, 47%. Of course, three-pointers, 10 of 27. Their ability, if you look at the assists there, 7 into 19, both teams in their ability to be able to find the open woman was the reason why, early on in particular, the percentages were high.
Absolutely. You find your player when you find the open man with their feet set, with that confidence, sometimes in transition, sometimes not, and then you do that over and over again. That's exactly what you love to see, and it's just going to continue to build. One
glaring stat there, while we just missed it there, rebounds, the Flames did smack the Spirit, but 23 turnovers to Bendigo, well and truly too high, only the 8 for the Flames. So you got to look after the ball, and if you aren't, you got to be able to out-rebound the opposition, and Spirit couldn't do either.
They just couldn't do it tonight, and that might be that little bit of the commentator's curse that we've talked about. We definitely just spoke so highly of them for what they did in the Spirit, what they did in that first quarter. So if they can find that again, which is exactly what Sydney did today, they'll definitely get some more positives on that score.
Who's taking the blame for the commentator curse? Is it me or is it you?
I'll take that one.
Okay, good. You take that one. I'll take the next one. There you go. Bianca, thank you. It has been a big win for the Sydney Uni Flames. But do not go anywhere. Who wins the next game? Flyers, Boomers?
I think I'm going to go with the Flyers.
There you go. Bianca's going for the Flyers. I'm not sure who you're going with at home, but you're going to see how it all plays out in only a matter of moments. A big win for the Sydney Uni Flames, 100-63 over the Bendigo Spirit. All thanks to Chemist Warehouse. A big weekend ahead of us. We'll talk to you soon.